Happy Monday, beautiful souls, wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. It is time for Shift Your Thinking Mondays, where we transform our inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience for 13 minutes of our day. We do it together. All right, let me just move my keyboard over. And I was actually thinking about not doing today's segment, but I decided the show must go on. I've had an eventful morning and I almost walked out. So I actually have my desk packed up and I'm ready to leave. But I said, no, we talked about integrity 2 weeks ago on Shift Your Thinking, and integrity is not something you have. Integrity is something you do. It's not something you are. It's something you be. So part of integrity for me was committing to the showtime, although not making any excuses. I did have an eventful morning and it's just been one of those days. So the best I can do is show up and show out. Speaking of that, let's make sure our sound is good. I know, shift your thinking in the afternoon. Go figure. Someone somewhere is getting up in the morning and this is their morning fix, is hearing me on the show. So, oh my gosh, what is that? See, that was the last show. Hold on. Sound checking. Okay, cool. Shout out to our radio podcast listeners and those of you who are listening for the first time. Shift Your Thinking is our inspo, motivation, pick me up, accountability, keep you going. So make sure you say hi, say hello, drop a comment down below. Press 1 lets me know you're here. 1 lets me know you're here. 2 lets me know you shared it. All right. Make sure you like, subscribe, connect, build, and share at LA Super Agent. For those of you who are new to me, Lisa Gillett, Super Agent. Your host, your creator of many cool things, fun things. I make real estate look fun. It is fun, actually. That's why I said this morning I had an eventful morning, putting a lot of contracts together, a lot of escrows opened and offers and submissions and contract reviews and more contracts. The money is in the contract. That's what I say and share with everyone. The money's in the contract. Shift Your Thinking. Meanwhile, I'm talking about the real estate aspect of it. Ready, Set Real Estate airs on Wednesday, so make sure you're connected with us on Wednesdays. Shift Your Thinking has been my fun. This is where I kind of don't have to do so much of the structuring the show content. In fact, I make it very easy for us. I'm continuing our segment of Dean Del Sesto's Shift Your Thinking for Success. This is for success. We have been doing Shift Your Thinking in the past, and it's 200 ways to transform your life. This is Shift Your Thinking for Success. Really been fun. I'm going to enjoy this segment. Why? Because oh my gosh, we're 1 episode away from 300. 300 episodes? Go figure. I'm doing the thing. I noticed the channel had over 600 videos. Has anyone else picked that up? Wow, we're doing it. So I'm calling this segment, What Do You Do for a Living? What do you do for a living? And it's one of those things that we've heard as business owners, entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, poppreneurs, those of you who are startups, get-ups, this is a segment for you. And those of you who want to learn something new and also want to connect with me as well, I appreciate you showing some love and support. Appreciate it. Let me throw this on here for Connect, Build, and Share at LA Super Agent. So pause before we jump into this. I didn't do this last week, and I thought about it in the middle of the show because I'm now halfway through my day, so I'm high energy. My brain's been going. It's almost nap time. I still do take naps. Who takes naps? Me. I take naps. And I realized the last time when I did this, I did not take the pause to do our deep breaths. So let's chime out. And put in here in our captions here. So take three deep breaths and release. Perfect. Okay. Here we go. I'll remember to do this. In the last shows, we were doing it more consistently. Now I will make sure I get back to it so that we can pause and hum and oh. I love the ohms. Okay, join me. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Just kind of reset ourselves, allow ourselves to receive today's message. All right, take a deep breath with me. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Last one. Breathe in and out. Listen, thank you for joining me on Shift Your Thinking. Thanks for taking the time to tune in, to connect. Really appreciate you for taking that time and connecting with me. This episode 299, is what do you do for a living? And, we've heard people say, come up with your pitch, right? What's your pitch? Someone asks you what you do. What do you say? I've been changing my pitch over time. For me, it's gone from, I kind of started with actually, when I first started, I would say I was in real estate, selling and buying real estate. That was kind of like the quick dry. Then it became, I'm super agent. This is what I do, saving homes from foreclosures and, et cetera. And then now I'm tweaking it and I'm leaning more towards our tagline, which is we specialize in unique situations. So what I do in real estate is I specialize in unique situations in terms of resolving or solving those real estate situations for my clients. And I've tweaked it over the times. And of course, you would expect that. Let's see what Dean says. I'm in a segment where he says, the way you share about your work should not be mechanical, but conversational, relational, and perhaps a touch more emotional. So he says, put your back into it. Put more umph into that, he says. He says, where we work happens to be the place we spend the most of our time during the waking hours of our week. Absolutely true. He says our job is very big part of our life. And yet, if you ask most people what they do for a living, the answer is surprisingly beige, devoid of conviction, uninspiring, and often leaves questions instead of a clear understanding of what we do. So he's saying, well, hold up. This is where you're spending most of your time. And when someone asks you what you do, you're not excited. I tend to be very excited about what I do. I think people see me light up, like I just glow, and they go, whoa, I could tell. Absolutely. If I'm not in that space of glowing where I enjoy work and what I do and it feels like work, I don't want to do it. And for me, I'm adding levels to it, which is a bonus. He says the value in being resolute and emotionally connected to our job description will make itself evident by how others respond as we share. They'll be interested or checked out in direct proportion to the passion we have or don't. You're not excited, guess what? They're not going to be excited about hearing what you do either. He says, quote, we shouldn't rest on the responsibility of others to listen, but on our ability to make certain we are heard. Put that in the hashtag in the chat below, hashtag heard, that I am heard. It's my responsibility to be heard, that people are hearing and understanding what it is that I do. He says there are several ways to tell people what you do for a living. For example, early on in my career, I was at the district's office and was asked what I did for a living. He was at the dentist's office. I need to call my dentist. I told the dentist passionately what I did to help those in business and was resolute about my value. All that expensive dental work ended up being free, and I racked up about $10,000 in credit because he hired me to brand his dental practice. Awesome. That was a real come up. He says, how we share what we do matters, and it will matter more in some instances than it does others. So it's always good to have the approach solid. The old adage that practice makes perfect doesn't apply here, as we aren't striving for a perfect, canned, or rehearsed. We're striving for a conversational approach that fits who you are. This will require practice. So it sounds compelling and natural. Put that in the comments below. Natural. When you speak of what you do, it should come natural. I like the word compelling. Throw that in there. He says a good job explanation, aka elevator pitch, has a balance of conviction and content, so it doesn't sound like hype, yet doesn't put your audience to sleep. He says you can use the snapshot, short view, and the quick pitch as a way to share your role with others. You'll use them for different situations, and I recommend having some added talking points if you need to share the full value of what you deliver. He says one of our linear value points was this. One of our clients spent $50 million with us over 5 years, and we made them $950 million in profitability. He says another is we turn a client from number 23 to the number 1 position in the country. These help to bring substance and believability to the things we do. Here are some possible scenarios. So I like this. Here's the question. So what do you do? The snapshot. Write this down. Snapshot. This is his example. I'm a project manager at one of the largest design build concrete contractors in the country. The short view. Write that down. I'm a project manager at one of the largest design build concrete contractors in the country. Basically, we specialize in building concrete parking structures and multi-story buildings. Now the quick pitch. Underline that. Same question. What do you do? I'm a project manager for X Construction. We're one of the largest concrete contractors in the country. We design and build concrete parking structures and multi-story buildings. In fact, if you've been to the MGM Grand, the Honda Center, or the Disney Grand California Hotel, you've either packed in one of our structures or walked into one of our buildings. Ooh, that gives me such a good idea. You know that building over there by Smart and Final? Yeah, that was one of our projects that we sold, and we assisted the seller in that transaction and maximizing their equity position. Ooh, see, I'm taking notes. I'm a fast learner. What are we talking about? So what do you do? Are you animated or are you bland, right? Are you void of excitement? Are you void of being inspiring about what you do? If you're not excited about what you do, people are not going to be excited to hear what you do. He says the fourth and best way to share what you do is to bring it into the world of the person you're talking to. For example, several years ago, after I'd been in business for about 25 years, he says, my father said to me, Dean, what exactly do you do for a living? After all this time, he didn't know. So we both laughed a bit, and I said, okay, remember back when you were in the insurance business? And I went on to share with my dad what I would have done for him if he hired me back in the day. It took a couple of minutes connecting the dots into the world to do what 25 years somehow couldn't. He laughed at the end and said, so now I know exactly what you do. It was a special moment for both of us. Today, when someone asks me what I do, I'll sometimes say, well, tell the truth. Tell me what your business you're in. He says, well, tell me what business you're in, and I'll give you in context what I would do for you. It's pretty brilliant, actually. A heck of a lot less mechanical and more relevant. However you decide to share, you'll want to practice, drill, and rehearse it until it can come across naturally with clarity, conviction, and a bit of empathy that connects with who you're talking to. So the call to action today is take time, a little time, and perfect your pitch today. Call to action, take a little time and perfect your pitch today. I will do that today. In fact, as I drive, I'm going to work on that. With that, I say, I love you, love you, love you. Have a powerful and productive week. We'll see you next week on another episode of Shift Your Thinking.